What's up, my pilots? Vloggy Poncho here, and I have a song I want to start the video with today. It's close to my heart. I hope you guys can just open your heart to this song and really listen. I think this really speaks to all of us. Okay. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and then the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time. That's this is the first new song I've learned on guitar in like a year. I don't know. It stuck to me. So I've been watching a lot of Adventure Time lately. I don't know. I always sort of thought people were okay. I guess what I want to start by saying is I now understand how adults can watch children's shows and take them seriously, like actually invest in them and enjoy them. Because like I always when I first heard about the whole My Little Pony craze and the fact that grown men were really into it, I totally didn't understand it. And then I watched a couple of the episodes that one of my buddies recommended to me. Uh, well, actually, well, he's just more of an acquaintance, really. But anyway, my best friend and I, we went and watched it. We asked him, like, well, if we want to get into this brony thing, what episode should we watch to get us hooked on the show? And he told us one to watch. We watched it, and we both just kind of looked at each other like, yeah, it's a kids show. I'm not really much there for me. Didn't really get it, I guess. And then recently, with the extreme stress I've been having at work for the past 2 months, which more on that later. I've not been wanting to come home and watch a crime procedural or a drama or something with a lot of explosions and violence. I want a show that's going to be happy and just like lighthearted and make me smile and maybe laugh. So I was watching a lot of comedians on Netflix, and then I don't know if it was new on Netflix or not, but there was like a whole banner in my suggestions was Cartoon Network shows from back in the day. I was like, oh man! So I went back and I watched some Ed, and Eddie. I watched some Powerpuff Girls. I watched some what was the Johnny Bravo, which I still don't understand. As a kid, I never thought he was funny. I still don't. I don't understand that show at all. But then I saw Adventure Time was on there as well, and I'd seen people mention it on OkCupid profiles, and I think I'd heard of it a couple times in college, and I wasn't really sure like what it was. And from the first looks, when you first look at it, you think this is going to be a really dumb kids show because it looks like super cartoony. Then I started watching the episodes this morning, actually, and I've probably spent like 6 hours watching Adventure Time today. It's a good show. It's really, I mean, obviously it's a show for kids, so it's like 11-minute episodes, which is nice. I don't have to keep track of a complicated plot. I can just enjoy it and then go to the next one. It also is so lighthearted and funny, but there's like humor peppered in that adults would understand, which is something that I really think makes a good kids show good. Is when parents can watch it with their kids and they're not totally bored to tears. And Adventure Time, it's got like lighthearted stuff. It doesn't do what some shows do. Like I think it's one of the downfalls of My Little Pony, is that every episode they try and cram a moral down your throat. Adventure Time, some of the stories are just stories. Most of them actually. I think only one or two episodes so far have had a moral that you could try and point out. And I like that it's not ham-handed. They don't tell you what you should be learning at the end. Like there's going to be a test or something. They just let you watch the show and it's fun. I've also really been enjoying analyzing the voice actors because I watched the show and in the very first episode it was like I was surrounded by a bunch of old friends that I didn't recognize because there were so many voice actors that I knew I had heard before, but I couldn't figure out what other roles they had done. It took me a couple episodes to figure out that the Ice King is SpongeBob, same voice actor Tom Kenny. And then a couple episodes later, I realized that same voice actor also did the mayor from Powerpuff Girls. I kept watching more and more. I kept hearing this voice. I was like, that's not SpongeBob. It is SpongeBob, but there's something else in there too, and it's the mayor. I was like, oh, wow, because he didn't have that many lines. Hard to remember his voice exactly, but it's totally there in the Ice King. And then Jake the dog for an entire season today. I watched probably like I guess what is a season? 11 minutes an episode, 24 episodes, 260 minutes, about 4.5 hours. It's I could not figure out who Jake's voice was, and I went through all the children's shows in my head. I just couldn't think of anybody whose voice matched. And then in one episode, he said, "Uh-oh," and I immediately was like, "That's Bender from Futurama!" And like, oh, I heard it. It just clicked. I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Yeah, and then that made it more fun for me. But then I couldn't stop hearing Jake as Bender for a couple episodes, which was weird. But you know. And then I like the theme song too. It's in itself. It's so clearly not taking itself too seriously, and I really like that. It was very just funny, and that's why I figured it'd be a funny way to start the video. Plus, I could tell from the chord progression that it was going to be really easy, just 3 chords. C, G, and D. If you know those 3 chords, you can play like 100 songs. C, G, and D, you can play... Well, you play the Adventure Time theme. If you learn A, you can play pretty much every Simon and Garfunkel song. If you learn B or F, you can play about half of the early Beatles, and you can play all of Peter, Paul, and Mary. And just, you know, any music from the 60s, it's like there's 5 chords you need to know. You can play that entire decade. And then, you know, simple stuff like cartoon themes are usually not complicated either. But that was fun. It cracks me up. Now what I have to do is learn the song at the end of the episodes. Now that one is not as really as appropriate for a guitar. I wish I had a ukulele or a mandolin or something to play that theme on, because it needs to have like a mandolin feeling. Also, if I just had a capo, I could like lock up on the 7th fret and just move that up and play it up there. It would be a higher pitch and it would sound better, but this microphone's not the best for that anyway. So moving on to topic 2 of 3. Whoo, man, things at work. So my overflow of things I had to do, like my really overfilled schedule, is no longer overfilled. It's a normal schedule again. It's not bad. This is the first Saturday in 2.5 months where there has been a 0% chance that I would have to work. It's amazing. So amazing. But on Thursday, I had a meeting with my manager, and I expressed my sort of discontent with my position, and I was saying, you know, when I took this job, I was told I was going to be working with Java, and I asked in the job fair, I asked in the interview specifically about Java, and then I went to training for Java, and I get out of it, and I haven't written a single line of Java since, and I'm piffed. I'm kind of miffed about that because, you know, life is too short to let some company yank your chain. If they tell you that you're going to be doing one thing at your job, and then they hire you and you never do that, it's like, you know how many different things I had to do in order to take this job? I had to change cities, leave all my friends 70 miles away, move all my furniture, be away from my family, away from my girlfriend at the time. I had to find an apartment, and I had to learn a new city where all the grocery stores and restaurants and everything, and I had to change my entire life in order to be here to have this job. And it's not the job that you told me it was going to be. Of course I'm upset. Of course I'm pissed. And I guess I came across a little too strong in the meeting because my manager got the impression that I was going to quit. I was like, oh, fuck. Which is, I mean, at this point, I wish I could. It's, but yeah, he basically said that he was going to pass on to his managers that if I wasn't doing Java, I was probably going to leave the company, which is true. So, the cat's finally out of the bag at work, which I guess gives me motivation. I already have other companies that I'm looking at applying to. I need to update my resume, and then I can do that. I'm going to call my folks first because I want to. Whenever I have a big life decision, I'm not ashamed to call my folks and ask them for their opinion. My mom and dad are. I think I got really lucky. I got really good parents. I've never talked about this before, but I could make a video about it sometime. But suffice to say, I think I got really lucky and got some kick-ass parents. Because some people I've met, it's like, at my age, that's another topic. But suffice to say, I'm happy that I have these parents that are as good as mine are, as good at parenting, and as good people. Because I can always call them and ask for advice and know that it's going to be good advice for me. So I'm going to talk to them about like what I should be looking for in other companies and what I should put at the top of my resume, like what's most important. Because I've had 9 months work experience. So do I put my work experience at the top or do I put my education at the top? Because I've only had like 9 months. Does that really matter more than my 4-year degree? Yeah, questions like that. And then I'm going to apply to some other companies. And to be honest, I'm pretty employable, so uh, I expect that I'll probably get some offers. So maybe I can get my current company to counter offer, and I can get into a position that I actually want to be in. One way or the other, I'm going to keep trying until I'm in a place that I like. Uh, all right, that's topic number two. So things are like basically the wheels are turning, and my life is going to get complicated again for the next 3 months. Not my job, but my life. Like I'm going to have to, like when my lease ends here in 3 months, I'm probably going to move to another apartment. If I have the same job, I might renew here, and depending if the rent is the right price. But if they try and jack the rent up on me, I'm going to move anyway. So that's going to change. And then if I end up changing jobs, that'll be a whole big deal. And it's all up in the air right now. I haven't decided anything other than I'm not going to stop until I'm in a place that I want to be, whether it's the same company in a better deal or a different position or a different company or a different city or whatever. Maybe I'll go to Australia. That would be amazing. Uh, so that's topic number two. Topic number three, I made a big change in my life today. My lifestyle, I guess, to be more precise. I'm eating meat again. It's weird. Mentally, I'm like really happy about my decision, but my gut, not my intuition gut, but my actual stomach is clearly unhappy with my decision. So here's the short and long of it. I was vegetarian for over a year and a half. I got used to the lifestyle. I noticed the changes that I got from it. When I first became vegetarian, I lost like 8 pounds. My digestion improved noticeably. Not to go into too much detail, but I was uh, pleasantly surprised at how regular I could be as a guy who ate a lot of spicy foods. Leave it at that. But being vegetarian, I was like, it's healthier, it's more ethical, it's more green, all this stuff, and that was good for a while. And then I got into this apartment, and I've kind of haven't been talking to people from a year ago, and spending a lot more time on my own, thinking about things, and going out and meeting new people, and changing things in my life, getting into new hobbies like bowling. I have a new job for the past 9 months, and just it's all I'm in flux still. It's that open-ended life. I don't have deadlines and checkpoints anymore personally, so I have to make my own. And this has now become one of them. I basically realized that all the reasons that I had for being vegetarian, I either no longer applied or I no longer cared about. And once I realized that, I started to remember how much I missed eating certain foods, and that brought me back to the fold. I'm an omnivore again. So today I kicked it off with a bang. My first meal was a Big Mac at McDonald's, and that's already gone through me. It was only like 8 hours ago. Oh, that's something that they don't tell you when you quit eating meat. Is that if you ever go back, your body's gonna hate you for like a day and a half. Apparently, your digestive system depends on a lot of different bacteria, and it's like a whole colony, like gut flora, they call it, like all these bacteria that live in your digestive system. And if you eat certain foods all the time, you end up with a large population of the bacteria that are good at digesting those kinds of foods because they have a lot of foods to digest, and that makes them multiply. So if you don't eat a certain kind of food for a long time, like if you didn't have any dairy products for like a year and a half, and you started eating dairy products again, your gut flora that to digest dairy had basically been starved for a year, and there's going to be hardly any of them. And then when you start eating dairy again, your body can't digest it. The same thing happens for meat. All the bacteria that I used to have for 20 years, I ate meat growing up. I had a healthy colony of meat digesting bacteria that after a year and a half of having no meat, they're not there anymore. I have to like regrow that whole colony. Like I've been reading online, like I need to eat like probiotics like yogurt and stuff to like get more bacteria growing in there. Which sounds really gross, but it's healthy. So basically my body has been completely unable physically to handle the meat I've been eating today. It's been unpleasant most of the day. But it feels good going down. So I went to McDonald's, I got a Big Mac combo, and that was amazing. Oh, I'm going to remember that Big Mac for the rest of my life. I'm not exaggerating. I feel like a drug addict. Like I was clean for years, and I finally got my fix again. It's like, oh, it's just what I remember it. It's better than I remember, you know. Like when I was back before I quit eating meat. If I had a Big Mac, I would put like 3 packets of ketchup on there. Today, I just take a bite. It's all just juicy and delicious. And then I came home and I made hamburger helper. Oh, that was good. Just ground beef and mac and cheese. Mmm, that was tasty. And I was a little bit concerned because I wasn't sure if I cooked the beef enough, but I think I did. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. And then I made a cold cut sandwich, just ham and turkey and cheese with mustard, mayonnaise, and lettuce for dinner. Just, oh. I never thought I'd be excited to eat a ham and cheese sandwich, but I think it was delicious. And it's still making me uncomfortable. But this is only temporary. After a few days, my gut bacteria will kick back into action, and I'll be digesting my meat normally again. Until then, I can't stray too far from the bathroom, but oh, it's so worth it. So worth it. So yeah, people are probably still asking why. I didn't really give a good explanation. Basically, like, the whole eco thing, I gave up on a bunch of other aspects of that already. I quit recycling because it was too much of a pain in the ass. And then it's like, I drive a hybrid. That's like the biggest impact you could possibly have as an American, is to not have so much gas going into your car. And so it's like, I'm green enough. I can eat meat. It doesn't matter. And then I had the argument that I didn't want to eat meat because I couldn't stomach having to kill the meat myself. Like, having to slaughter an animal, like, I could never do that. And so I shouldn't eat meat because that's, like, cowardly. And it's like, no, that's like fucking amazing that I can eat meat and I don't have to do that. That's the privilege of modern society. The whole realization that I had is that I need to stop being sorry for things that aren't my fault. Like, if someone looked at me and was like, you know, you're a coward. You eat meat, but you never have the guts to slaughter it yourself. It's like, I don't need to feel sorry for that. It's not like that's amazing. I'm grateful for that. The logic that most vegetarians have is totally backwards, and I finally opened my eyes to this. And the weird thing is, no one was trying to convince me to eat meat again. I mean, most of my friends were really cool about it. I mean, people would make jokes and stuff, but it's all just casual, whatever, friendly stuff. So with no one attempting to convince me to go back to eating meat, I slowly but surely came to that decision on my own, and so I'm very happy about that. And it gives me great resolve. I've been thinking about this for several weeks, trying to make sure that I was sure and rethinking things in my head, and you know, and I'm very happy with my decision. Although right now my gut is definitely not. Oh. I'm just sitting here sweating. Anyway, I did learn the Adventure Time song, which is nice. So big things going on in my life. I might be changing jobs. I might be moving apartments. I might be moving cities. I'm eating meat again. I'm going to be changing my diet. My exercise is going to be changing. Oh, it's amazing. I can eat anything I want now. It's like all the things that I couldn't have before. I have like a list in my head. I still need to go to Zaxby's and get a wings and things. I still need to eat some hot wings with some pizza. I got coupons for that. I need to have a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. I want to eat a pepperoni pizza. I want, what else was it? I want a real hot dog instead of these crappy veggie dogs I've been eating. And just basically, I'm going to go all out for like a week and a half. It's like every meal's going to have meat. I'm just going to get these gut bacteria back in shape. It's a good feeling. Actually, it feels terrible right now, but I'm dealing with it. Ooh. That's all. That's all for today. I'm going to go watch some more Adventure Time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.